This video contains an ad for Kiwico. More about them later. Tjena, Martina here, and today we're gonna do something I've been looking forward to for such a long time. For a while, we've been needing to upgrade our editing computer, and so I thought, why have a regular PC when we can just DIY the crap out of it and turn it into an epic fantasy building? I mean, it's gonna look super cool, it's gonna be fun to make, and it's probably gonna be super practical. I choose to see no downsides. These are some of the components we're gonna use, and the biggest challenge here is gonna be finding a way to put these large components together so we can build something around it and still being able to access the inside. I'm a little worried that I've bit over more than I can chew here, but there's only one way to find out. These are the biggest components we're gonna need to make space for in the PC, and I have no clue where to place them, so what I'm gonna do is to make a mock-up first. So let me find some cardboard and we'll make a mock-up. We've accumulated a little bit of cardboard. I'm just trying to find like the most dense ones that aren't so floppy. I think this will work. Behold my creation! It's beautiful. Well, it's not exactly like what I'm planning for this to look like, but it's got the main elements down. So on the first floor here, we're gonna have the power supply. And there's a hole leading up to the second floor where we're gonna mount the motherboard with the graphics card and the water reservoir. And on the third floor, we're gonna place the heatsink and the cooling fans for the water. So I took a picture of this in 2 different angles so I could draw on top of it. And I brought it into Procreate, started drawing, and I added a lot of windows to make sure that the air can flow through the whole thing, and also try to plan out some of the ornaments and details we want to have in here. We have a design sketch and we have a mock-up, and I'm going to use both of these to help me cut the actual wood pieces for the framework. So let's get started. My creation. It's so nice to see it in wood, and now it has windows. It's starting to look like something. And at the end there, you saw me add some magnets at the corner, so now it just snaps on. But yeah, it's not enough to like hold everything in place, so I gotta carry it from the bottom. But yeah, nice, boring job's done. What's next is to start covering this up and make it look nice. The first thing I'm gonna do is to cover all of these walls with some XPS foam, and I'm gonna have some help from Hansi to cut a lot of bricks and wooden beams and roof shingles, which is gonna take a lot of time. Thank you, Hansi. But first, let's cover up these walls. Isn't it weird how much more it looks like a house once you get the roof on? It goes from just being a blob to being a construction. So next we're gonna start covering this up in some building materials. And we're gonna mainly make 3 things. Some wooden beams, some roof shingles, and some bricks. We're gonna have to do a lot of texturizing, and some of the tools I'm gonna use is a hot knife like this and a wire brush to create some wood texture. And for the bricks, I'm gonna use a bag of gravel, and you can also use some rolled up aluminum foil to create that stone texture. And if you want to know more about these texturing techniques and really go into detail on them, then I really recommend checking out Fantasy Forge Miniatures here on YouTube. He makes some absolutely incredible stuff, and he really shows you step by step how to do this. So after this video, check him out. But now, we gotta get some gravel. I think we were unseen. We have the forbidden gravel. Let's get back. We got a bag of gravel and a bunch of these bricks that Hansi cut out. So now, just grab a handful of these, toss them in the bag, and now we can just net it like a dough. Like so. And it should come out having a little bit of a brick texture, and also it cuts off those really harsh corners. We gotta do this a bunch of times. Let's just continue texturizing these and we can start gluing them on the first floor and make this look like a house. Let's go. I talked to you was 5 days ago, and since then Hansi and I have just been morning till evening cutting foam, texturizing foam, gluing foam, and I've only dreamt about foam. But isn't this glorious? It was all worth it in the end. And now that it's painted black, everything looks so much better and so much more uniform. But I also remember why I haven't done the whole brick shingle thing in a long time, because it is a lot of work. But now comes the final part before we can actually build a PC, and that is the painting. And this is always my favorite part, and also the part I'm dreading the most, because there's just so many details here, and I really want the paint job to just be like mind-blowingly great. And that is not a good expectation to set for yourself, but you know. Yeah. We can do this, okay? Let's get painting. You know what time it is? It's time for an ad for Kiwico. Kiwico makes the most incredible hands-on projects and toys designed to expose kids to STEAM, aka science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And they're a great resource for learning at home. Each monthly crate is designed by experts and tested by kids. I mean, over 1,000 hours go into developing every single crate. Like, that's pretty impressive. And what's cool is that every crate is a complete project. It includes everything you need, so you never have to worry about running out of supplies. Kiwico offers 8 subscription lines catering to different age groups and different topics, all the way from toddlers to teens and, I mean, even adults. I love Kiwico, and if I had kids, they'd be getting these kits. I mean, I might even get some more for myself. Because they're a lot of fun to put together. So if you think this sounds interesting, then make sure to check out the link below so you can get 50% off your first month. Thanks, Kiwico, and back to the project. This has taken forever to paint, but it's always just so satisfying seeing it go from just a black blob to actually being a construction and looking like a house, looking like shingles. Like, it might not be mind-blowingly amazing as I wanted it to be, but I think it turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the paint job. And also, I just quickly added in these meshes here in the windows so they look a little more like windows. And also, it's just to make sure that no large things get in here while still keeping the airflow inside the PC. I guess to me that was the easy part because now I have to start actually building the PC, which is something I have never done before. But like, it's just putting components together like grown-up Legos. Let's try to put this thing together. Let's begin with the power supply. There we go. And I've actually cut a perfectly nice hole for this at the back here. Just look how great it fits. This is so satisfying, and the best part of being able to laser cut things to make things fit perfectly. It's really just stuck in there. And just a quick thanks to Corsair, Intel, and MSI for sending us some of these components for the build. We got this front panel from an old computer we had, and we just kind of salvaged it. And this goes into the side here where we have like USB ports and whatnot, and the power button. Oh my god, that's ridiculous. I love it. We actually need some laser cut pieces to just kind of slot this in here. So I'm gonna use some of these to just kind of glue it in place behind it. Got the second floor on, and I also pulled all the cables through here. And as you can see in here, I've already mounted some spacing screws for the motherboard. And before touching the motherboard, I'm just gonna go and touch the pipe. Ow! static, just to remove the static, because you're supposed to do that before you touch the motherboard. Oh, so now let's put it in. Oh, and it fits perfectly in the laser cut hole. Yes. Let me just find some screws and we can screw this in place. I've mounted the motherboard and the graphics card and they align very neatly on the back here. So now we have to attach the CPU and we have this water block that we're gonna put on top. But first of all, the scary little thing here. Like that. I've done a little bit of work off cam. I've just mounted the SSD in here, the RAM. We also added these two fans here, these RGB fans that are connected to this RGB hub. So now we're finally ready to add the final piece to the puzzle, which is the water cooling, which is going to be placed in the third floor here on top of everything else. So I really just have to take this cooling block and place it on the processor, just balancing this over here. Pop the plastic off. Carefully place it down. We got the cooling block mounted, so now I can grab the third floor here. We kind of have to balance it and try to get this into the hole at the same time. Yeah, this is not the easiest thing. Oh, it's working. Okay, I'll try to put this in its actual place. It's about there. Okay, I think we got it in place here, so now we can just screw this into its place. So we got the fans properly mounted here. Everything is in place, but we're missing one piece. Of course, the roof. Yes. Oh, I can't believe there's actually a PC in here, but we need to test it. Okay, like 3 weeks of work, just working on the PC. The moment of truth. Okay, please work. It turns on! Thank God. Look at the lights! Okay, it looks kind of funky with the disco lights, but it looks kind of cool. And you can see into the PC through the grid. Oh, and the fans at the back here too. It's so absurd. I'm so happy it works. We need to make a proper setup. We gotta get a screen and we gotta try this out as an actual PC. So let me just find a screen and stuff and we can test this out. Look, it works! The computer is on, we installed Windows, it's got fans that look kind of like fire. I can't believe we managed to make a PC that looks like a house and it works. What? I honestly think this is the coolest thing we've ever made. And I say this all the time, but literally, look at it. And can you just imagine being a kid and bringing this to a LAN party? Hello? Do kids still do LAN parties? But anyway, I just want to thank you so much for watching and joining me on this journey. And also a huge thanks to our patrons for continuing to support us. And by the way, we have started making extended versions of all our videos and releasing them to our patrons. So if you're interested in watching more about the projects, more behind the scenes stuff, and just more info about the projects in general, then check out our Patreon. I'll leave a link to it down below. And now it's time. Let's have a look at the final results.